Greetings, fellow sim racers. Right, this was a test I did where I was trying to work out whether it's actually worth putting on full downforce on a car or just putting a diffuser or splitter on. Basically, I was trying to get this little monster, a Mazda 3 with the 787B engine in, to see if I could get it within 700 pp. So obviously for 700 pp lobbies, and I was trying to limit it to exactly 600 brake. So the setup I did not change at all on this test, apart from rear wing or diffuser with the splitter, and then to gradually taking all the bits off and then just try and find out what it actually did for top speed, medium speed corners, high speed corners. Proved to be a lot more difficult than I thought to actually get consistent runs, especially through the high speed corners. Not actually getting the entering speed right, but just holding your speed, because the speed always bleeds off, so finding the throttle position to hold your speed. But I did find out a couple of interesting things though, as you're about to see. So the first bit is to try and set a preset equal conditions lobby to make it as fair and as scientific as possible, if you like. Obviously set to private, so load first car. This is just the front splitter, no rear diffuser, no rear wing. So pick this medium speed corner at Sardegna, I mean, why not, and trying to find out the ideal speed to get through. So that was maybe a tad slow because I'm trying to hold my speed. So 92, 93, 91, that's too fast, runs off the track. So coming through here, trying to hold that speed, that's probably slightly too fast, and this was my best run. And I make that 90, 91 mile an hour. And then the top speed tests. So put the traction control on to try and take as much out of much driver variability out of it as possible, and then just nail it and try and change at a consistent time. And did this many times, and I got 162 every time at that 150 meter board. So go in and now add the rear diffuser. So front splitter, rear diffuser, try the same test. Going through the same corner, same track conditions, same time of day, blah blah blah, as scientific as you can, and trying my best to hold a constant speed. And that wasn't a bad run. So what was interesting was the medium speed corners barely changed at all. I mean, 90 mile an hour, that should be when downforce is kicking in. And obviously this is to try and test out the physics as well in Gran Turismo 7 to see how good they really are for these sorts of things. So again, same straight line test. Nail the gears as accurately as you can, keep it as straight as you can, watching for that 150 meter board. Bang, 163. Quicker, with more downforce. So I took the diff off, put the rear wing on. So this is full front rear wing, but no diffuser. And not too bad through there, but then this is too fast. Again, trying to hold my speed as best I can. Running off the track. That wasn't bad, and this was my best run, probably the most accurate, where I could hold the speed the best. And straight line. This was easy to do, obviously the straight line was easy to do. So again, nail it all the way at that 150 meter board, and I'm doing 160 with the rear wing on. A lot more drag. Okay, let's get rid of all the wings, all the downforce, all the diffuser. No downforce car. This should be terrible through here. And it was slower, but only very slightly. I mean, it really is a couple of miles an hour. I mean, doesn't mean a lot for your lap time, but a couple of miles an hour. And then the same straight line speed test, and of course there you think, well, this should be the quickest. But come up with a couple of surprising results. And there'll be a summary at the end, so you'll see. 163. Okay, so as you'd expect, fast and straight line. So for a high speed corner, I thought I'd try Suzuka. So this is wings, front splitter, rear wing. That was too fast, so can't do that speed. That was marginally too quick. Holding my speed through here was so difficult because you've got to try and sight the turn-in point, but you're also trying to look exactly at your speed and hold it exact. But anyway, that was those runs. So then just run front splitter only, and there wasn't, I mean, that's way too slow. It had a lot more to give there. And it's like, mostly I found the wings tend to affect the balance of the car much more than the actual grip. And I guess that's how it should be for these as well, which I'm actually quite impressed at. So I think this was probably my best run through here. Or was it? No. Sliding off. This was probably the best run. So yeah, it could have gone a little bit quicker than that, given the track you had to use. Got to go for a feel for it. So with the rear diffuser and front splitter. So really, in theory, a rear diffuser should give you more downforce for very little drag compared to a rear wing. So the diffuser should be better, but it costs you more in PP. So that was this. I think this was the best run. So that is marginally quicker. Okay, let's get rid of that rear diffuser and get rid of the front splitter. So this is now a no downforce car. And yeah, as you'd expect, that's just understeering straight off. It created a lot more understeer. Not only did I have less grip, but I had a lot more understeer, particularly through the high speed corners. It was really noticeable. So here is the cars. Pay attention to the PP rotational speed 150 and the acceleration 62 to 93. So you can see it varying between all the different mods. So analyse that how you like. So the summary was surprising. So you don't lose that much by only having a splitter. The wing and splitter, diff and splitter, is obviously your max downforce for that. But you can actually have diff, splitter and wing, but the PP simply will not allow that. Not even close. And then the high speed. So I was really surprised how just running a splitter was probably quicker than a wing and splitter. That was a surprise. And a diff and splitter made quite a difference in the high speed. That diffuser is definitely worth running if the PP allows it. So very interesting. And then top speed, well, what surprised me there as well was the diff plus splitter was faster than just for the splitter, and as it's fast as no downforce. So that must have been traction off the line. But you can analyse those figures how you like. I'll leave you to do that and decide where you use, what kind of track you use, which setup, high speed or low speed tracks. I mean, what would you do with this information? I guess if you're on a a low speed track, well, you need maximum downforce, wing and splitter. But would it? I mean, if it's got some high speed corners in there, I can't see why you'd ever want to run the wing and the splitter when the diff and the splitter gives you just as good medium speed speed round medium speed corners, more speed round high speed corners, and more straight line speed. Why would you ever run a wing and a splitter if only to match a tighter PP? Maybe you're running soft tyres rather than medium tyres and you have less room to manoeuvre. Is that the only place you would use that? But then if you just run the splitter by itself, you gain straight line speed, you don't lose anything in high speed corners, and you barely lose anything in medium speed corners, and that could even be a driving consistency margin, error margin as well. So wings plus splitters, I can't see a use for them. Very interesting. What is interesting is that the physics again are better than you think in Gran Turismo 7. All these things do make a difference. And so the biggest difference I really noticed was actually in the handling rather than the speed round the corners. The no downforce one was just an unsteery pig. But the wing and splitter didn't fare that much better in terms of understeer either. The splitter by itself really helped keep the front of the car where you wanted it. So the splitter on its own as a middle ground, particularly for restrictive PP, really does seem like a good option. I don't know, that's just it's kind of blown me away actually. I was not expecting that as a result at all. What's also interesting is I noticed that Gran Turismo 7 does appear to employ realistic aerodynamics. Aerodynamics only really come in to play properly once you hit about 90 mile an hour. You can have a slight effect on a high downforce car, 60, 70, but on a car like that, with minimal wings, minimal effects, you normally expect 90 mile an hour. My road car, my real world road car, I only really noticed an increase in downforce at that kind of speed on a private road, of course. So yeah, that's really quite cool actually. And obviously the higher the speed, the more air you get in, the denser the air, the more the load, the more grip you get, and that's reflected. So in Gran Turismo 7, it doesn't really kick into about 90 mile an hour, which is about right for real world. And the higher the speed, the higher the airflow, the more downforce you get. It does actually seem to factor those into the physics. I tell you, these physics in this game, they get a bad rep, but they're actually a lot better and make a lot more sense than you think. And the more and more I do these kind of things in Gran Turismo 7, the more and more it's sort of impressing me. And obviously, when you know these things, it gives you a bit more knowledge and a bit more of an idea on what you want to be doing when you're messing around with the car setup as well.